Good evening. A Northwest jet caught fire tonight and more than 150 people had to evacuate. We want to bring you the latest information as quickly as possible, so we'll take you live to Detroit, where it happened, right after this.
There's something very unusual going on at Taco Bell. Something you wouldn't expect. We're making pizza, Mexican pizza. It's like pizza, but it's different, with a crispier double tortilla crust, ground beef, and 2 kinds of cheese. More fresh ingredients. And it's made for one person. Mexican pizza. Maybe you wouldn't expect it from an ordinary fast food place, but at Taco Bell, you would.
Hello, Taco Bell.
Some computer stores don't last as long as the computers they sell. You want dependable? Go to Computerland. See this Hewlett-Packard DeskJet, laser quality at a personal printer price, now during our 10th anniversary sale.
From the Northland Ford Quality Showcase.
This tough Durliner box liner protects your truck from dents and scratches. Makes it worth more at resale time. Now when you purchase any new Ford truck, you can get this $329 Duraliner for only $119. With special packages, you save over $2,600 on the truck, over $200 on the liner. It all adds up to a great time to see your Northland Ford dealer.
Some computer stores don't last as long as the computers they sell. You want dependable? Go to Computerland. See this NEC laptop with free carrying case, now during our 10th anniversary sale.
What to wear when you're expecting.
On good company.
Live from Minnesota's news channel, KSTP Channel 5, this is Eyewitness News.
Good evening, everyone. Passengers on a Northwest plane landing in Detroit tonight were forced to evacuate the plane after a fire broke out on board. Here's what we know so far. The plane was landing from San Diego when the fire ignited. 2 women were injured while sliding down an evacuation chute. The passengers were forced to leave the aircraft as it remained on the runway. Incoming and outgoing flights were delayed for a half hour before the airport reopened. Red Tyler of Northwest Airlines confirmed that a fire did break out in the 747 plane, but he had no further details. We will bring you as many details as we can just as soon as we get them, and we're also going to be switching live to a newscast in progress by WXYZ TV, the ABC affiliate in Detroit. We'll have that as quickly as we can for you. All right, more than 1,000 Minnesotans gathered for songs and prayers for peace tonight. It was part of a rally protesting the way the U.S. government intervenes in Central America. Tonight's activities take on added importance, too, because of the tense situation in Honduras and Nicaragua right now. We'll tell you about the latest developments there tonight, but we want to continue the coverage we began at 5:30 on Minnesotans who want change. Dave Andrews shows us first how the protests started at the Capitol, and I'll continue our team coverage with tonight's events. First, Dave Andrews.
Police estimated the crowd at 1,700 as the ralliers gathered on the steps of the state capitol to call for an end to U.S. intervention in Central America. These people say the U.S. has no right and no reason to attempt to impose solutions for the region's political unrest.
We've done this under Eisenhower in Guatemala. We did under Johnson in Santo Domingo. We did under Kennedy with Cuba. We did it under Nixon with Chile. And as time the American society grows up and accepts the right of other countries to determine their own destinies.
But a small group of counter-protesters rallied nearby, standing up for American intervention in Central America to oppose communism.
And many of our boys that never came back, they made the supreme sacrifice. Yeah. And to think we have to die for this kind of stuff over here, communist literature and everything else they're advertising, no way. Let's fight it with everything we got. Yeah.
There were no incidents today as both groups got their message across peacefully. This rally had been planned long before U.S. troops were sent to Honduras. In St. Paul, I'm Dave Andrews, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
As daylight began to fade, the number of those rallying in support of freedom in Central America did not diminish. They came in 2s and by 10s and hundreds to St. Paul Cathedral, the music at first loud and boastful. But later the music, like the protest, was peaceful, celebrating the diversity of the participants. Hispanics, Native Americans, Protestant, and Catholic came to focus attention and raise money for humanitarian aid projects in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Speakers remembered the assassination almost 8 years ago today of El Salvador's Catholic Archbishop, Oscar Romero. El Salvador's only female Baptist minister, now in exile, says when people die in El Salvador, their names are still counted present in the fight for peace. The minister urged Minnesotans to stand up for peace as well.
Today, sisters and brothers, we are being called to be here and now to express our presence.
But can efforts by people thousands of miles away from the points of conflict make a difference? Oddly enough, with letter-writing campaigns and fundraisers, people like Guatemalan Solidarity member Carolyn Serrano think they can make more of a difference in policies of Central American countries than they can in U.S. foreign policy.
We are very active in human rights, and we send letters to President Cerezo to let him know that we're aware of his human rights abuses.
St. Paul police had a number of extra personnel on duty tonight, but praised the crowd as well behaved. There are several new developments to report from Central America tonight. First, U.S. troops in Honduras are packing up for their return trip back to the United States. 3,200 fighting men will be transported back to their military bases in California and North Carolina tomorrow. The American soldiers were sent to Honduras by President Reagan on March 16th as a show of support for the Honduran government, after the Nicaraguan Sandinistas chased the Contras across the Nicaraguan border into Honduras. Meanwhile, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega made good on his promise to the Contras today. His government freed 100 political prisoners today as part of a ceasefire pact with the Contras. The prisoners were met by tearful family members outside the prison compound. It's estimated that 4,000 political prisoners are still being held in Nicaraguan jails. And Assistant Secretary of State Elliott Abrams lashed out today against Panama's strongman leader.
Since Noriega is under 2 federal indictments for drug trafficking, he is subject to arrest.
Abrams also told reporters that the U.S. is planning to distribute food to some of the poorest sections of Panama City. The recent U.S. economic squeeze has caused a great deal of hardship, according to people there in Panama. The people of Michigan spoke yesterday, and Democratic presidential candidate Richard Gephardt is taking their words to heart. After a dismal performance in the Michigan caucuses, Gephardt is expected to drop out of the running. The representative from Missouri will hold a news conference tomorrow. Sources say he will withdraw from the presidential campaign and announce his decision to seek a 7th term in Congress. Another Democratic presidential candidate is feeling pretty good today. Jesse Jackson is wasting no time after his big win in Michigan. Crowds were cheering him in Connecticut today, where he hopes to gain more ground in Tuesday's primary against Michael Dukakis. Then it's on to Wisconsin, where a Milwaukee Sentinel poll puts Jackson and Dukakis in a dead heat. Now, when we come back, we'll have the very latest on that Northwest Airlines incident in Michigan tonight. We'll be back after this.
Have you heard? Minnesota's favorite twins just went on sale. Mercury Cougar and Sable, Minnesota's favorites. Specially ordered and specially priced right now at McKay Lincoln Mercury in Coon Rapids. The exclusive Signature Series Cougar and the revolutionary new Sable with all this equipment, not $17,000, not $15,000, but your choice, only $12,880. Minnesota's favorite twins, just $12,880. But only while they last, only in Coon Rapids at McKay Lincoln Mercury.
David is right at home with indoor air pollution. You are too. So many familiar things inside can pollute the very air you breathe. Surprised? Honeywell isn't. Today, you need a quality Honeywell air cleaner. It can remove up to 95% of the air's polluting particles. Switch to a better environment. Call now to learn more about a Honeywell air cleaner.
You know, people get all kinds of crazy ideas when they think of waterbeds, like waves. But the fact is, sleeping on a Sun Valley waterbed is like taking an overnight vacation every night. And to prove it to you this weekend, we'll give you a waveless mattress free with any bed purchase. Plus, enter to win one of 9 dream vacations for 2 in Hawaii. So forget about waves and get a waveless waterbed mattress free this weekend only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
Take an overnight vacation.
Every
Everybody's walking to help fight multiple sclerosis. On Sunday, April 10th, the Super Cities Walk will be 15 miles of good exercise, good times for a good cause. I wouldn't miss it, and I know the MS Society will be supporting all their walkers the entire way, with snacks, lunches, even shuttle buses. I'm Mark Sapelson. Join me April 10th for the Super Cities Walk, and bring your friends. Brochures are available at all Super America stores, or for more information, you can call the MS Society.
As we reported at the top of our news, a fire broke out on board a Northwest flight as it landed in Detroit. Ken Ford of WXYZ, the ABC affiliate in Detroit, filed this latest report just 5 minutes ago from WXYZ in Detroit.
To these passengers tonight, I have to say they're taking it remarkably well. And whatever Northwest Airlines is saying, I've seen other people, passengers on that 727, being taken out of here tonight who certainly looked to me like they were on their way to a hospital. One woman went by. She was reportedly pregnant. She was on a stretcher with wheels on it, taken out of here. And soon after that, a man went out in a wheelchair. The airline moved the 150-odd passengers into Northwest World Club, where, according to passengers, very little was done to allay the fears they'd experienced during this fiery arrival at Metro.
It happened right outside our window. First, it looked like a
fire on the wing.
A flare that went off. It was orange, and then all of a sudden, it burst, the smoke burst into flames, and then you could just see the whole flame out the window and everything.
At first, people freaked. At first, it looked like it was on the inside of the plane where the flames were, and then they realized it was on the outside. It was pretty orderly how everybody got off the plane through the slides.
Once we got down on the ground, there was no Northwest presence, there was no Northwest management, no one knew what to do, and it was 35 minutes before we even had any idea how we were going to get to the terminal.
The people dealt with it very well. There was nobody on the ground at all offering advice, construction, everything, so a couple of us just started looking around and trying to find people. We found a lady in the field, and we brought the paramedics over and found the kids sitting out there, and nobody was helping them, so we took them over to the police car and put them in there, and, you know, it took quite a while for the vans to get there, but they finally got there and we got in.
Again, we'll keep you updated on the Detroit emergency, and we'll have the latest on Eyewitness News at 6 a.m. tomorrow. In the Netherlands, a 1,000-pound bomb that never blew up when it was dropped in World War II was safely defused. Experts disarmed the bomb while 7,000 people stayed away from their nearby homes, and 14,000 other people remained behind closed doors. The bomb was unearthed during construction on a nearby building. And up next, find out if the spring weather we had today will carry through tomorrow. Karen Palloon has the forecast ahead.
Once in every generation, there is a story of human achievement that is more powerful than any fiction. In our time, that story is the epic journey of the Steger expedition to the North Pole. It's the story of 5 men and a woman traveling across 1,000 miles of Arctic ice, powered only by 20 sled dogs and their own determination. And now you can relive every step of their trek while reading North to the Pole, written by the expedition's leaders, Will Steger and Paul Shirky. To get your copy, just send a check for $19.95 plus $3.50 for postage and handling to North Pole 86, Post Office Box 789, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55114. This offer features the only remaining first edition copies signed by the authors. Yours to read today and your collector's item for tomorrow. So send a check for $19.95 and $3.50 for postage and handling to North Pole 86, Post Office Box 789, Minneapolis, Minnesota 55114.
Deadline March 31st. The last week of March, and we're about to break all sales records at Coon Rapids Chrysler Plymouth. That means incredible values on Horizons, just $59.80. LeBaron Coupes, only $99.90. And because this is Minnesota's minivan headquarters, you can pay only $10,880 for a new Voyager. March has been incredible, and we've learned one thing. The better the prices, the more we sell. We're going for the record, but we only have till Thursday, so hurry to Coon Rapids Chrysler Plymouth.
It's being called everything from the yuppie plague to the herpes of Hollywood. The bizarre thing about this strange new illness is that it usually strikes single professional women. I'm Bob Bruce, and on the next Twin Cities Live, we investigate the often misdiagnosed illness, Epstein-Barr virus. Its victims are often called hypochondriacs with their wide range of vague symptoms. Find out why the medical community is divided on the causes and cures of Epstein-Barr virus. Monday at 9, right after Good Morning America on Channel 5.
Animal rights activists in Jacksonville, Florida protested when a fundraiser was going to use a greased pig in a contest. So they decided to use a little mechanical grease pig instead. A clever inventor used a radio-controlled car and a bleach bottle. Kids chased the pig for an entry fee, with the money going to fund a food show. I don't know how we transcend it from that into weather, but I understand we do have a storm kind of brewing out there, making it maybe kind of questionable for you.
Brewing is exactly the word, because it's still a developing storm, still getting its act together in the Central Plains, but it's making the weather headlines. Blizzard conditions still exist over northern Montana this evening and will throughout the night into Monday morning, so blizzard warnings still in effect for the northern half of that state. And now snow advisories have been upgraded to winter storm watches for portions of southeastern Wyoming, Colorado to the Nebraska Panhandle, even into northwestern Kansas, that into the day on Monday. But ahead of that system today, there were a few record high temperatures. Valentine, Nebraska at 85 degrees this afternoon. Now Denver, what a change they're going to have in 24 hours. 78 degrees this afternoon. And now they're under a winter storm watch for tomorrow. Tucson, Arizona hit 94 degrees this afternoon. And even 80-degree temperatures were found in western South Dakota. Now, that storm, that was ahead of that storm system today. That's since gone through the western half of that state. And by 6 o'clock this evening, the temperatures had dropped 35 to 40 degrees. So it is a rather active storm. There's some rain mixed with snow around Rapid City. Clouds from this system beginning to spread in our direction and will continue increasing during the night. Northern half of Minnesota already under mostly cloudy skies. Some very heavy thunderstorms developed in the Texas Panhandle. Those thunderstorms are moving to the northeast toward the southwestern corner of Oklahoma, and there is a slight risk of some severe weather developing overnight. In fact, they've already had a few funnel clouds reported near Lubbock, Texas. The forecast for the Twin Cities area tonight, though, we have the increasing clouds ahead of that system with a shower late tonight or perhaps early tomorrow morning. There may even be a little thunder out there in the early morning hours. Our low temperatures will be 37 to 41 degrees. And then waking up, mostly cloudy skies. There may be a few showers around. 42 degrees for the temperature, and then variable cloudiness the rest of the day. Afternoon showers and thunderstorms developing, and temperatures will continue warming up. We'll be in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. In fact, there may be a few spots in the Twin Cities that report 60 degrees. The winds will continue. Right now, they're out of the southeast at 20 miles an hour. They've been 20 to 25 miles an hour during the evening. 46 degrees the current temperature, the dew point 22, the relative humidity 38%, and the pressure continues to fall. Our high this afternoon was 49 degrees after a low this morning of 21. We've had no precipitation. Now by tomorrow, those showers and thunderstorms will be developing to the west of us. The stronger part of the storm will be developing to the southwest over Kansas and Nebraska, and that will eventually take a northeasterly turn. I say eventually because there's a very strong high-pressure ridge out to the east of us, and this may slow things down just a bit. But right now it looks like this system will gradually move across the upper Midwest, and it may mean some rain mixed with snow late on the day Tuesday. Northern Minnesota tomorrow, we'll see a few rain showers and in the 40s. Southern half of the state will see showers and a few thunderstorms in 50s, and the clouds will gradually be increasing over western Wisconsin with a few showers in the afternoon and highs in the 50s. Looking ahead over the next few days, we have another quick cool down coming in the middle of the week with the possibility of some snow, light snow it looks like right now. But with that storm system still developing, it's questionable, so do stay tuned. Our highs that day only in the 30s, and then we warm back up at the end of the week into the 40s. So.
Karen, even with this moisture, we're still kind of running behind, aren't we?
We are a little below normal for the year on precipitation and well below normal for snowfall for the month of March. So.
Okay, thank you. Coming up next in sports, the Final Four is set for college basketball's best, and the Gopher hockey team finds out their opponent for the Hockey Final Four in Lake Placid. Mark Stevens has all the details.
Spring's here, and you'll want to make tracks for Brookdale Chrysler Plymouth, because our mission is to sell 50 Plymouth Voyagers, and we're going to do it for just $99 down or $199 per month. Brookdale is the Twin Cities sales leader with over 50 Voyagers ready for immediate delivery. By keeping our volume high, we keep our prices low. The more we sell, the more we get, and the more you save. 1988 Voyagers, just $99 down or $199 per month. So mark your course for Brookdale Chrysler Plymouth on Brooklyn Boulevard in Brooklyn Center. Ends 9 p.m. Monday.
Doctor says you'll be up and around in no time. Everything's going to be just fine.
In our country, physical illness gets the most advanced medical treatment there is. Yet a disease more widespread than cancer, lung, and heart disease combined goes virtually untreated.
Why don't you just get up and pull yourself together? Come on, snap out of it. Everybody gets depressed.
The disease is mental illness. A disease so confusing its symptoms are often misread and misunderstood.
There's nothing wrong with him. All he needs is a good swift kick in the pants.
Enough is enough.
So its victims wind up neglected, isolated.
Why don't you talk to us? What is wrong? There is nothing more I can do for you.
But mental illness is a medical illness. And like other medical illnesses, it can be treated. Once you learn to recognize the warning signs, learn to see the sickness. Learning is the key to healing. For an informative booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
Join us on the Great River Ride Bicycle Trek, June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Call the American Lung Association of Hennepin County at 871-7332.
Mark Stevens is with us. It's been a really long time since a team from the West has actually emerged from the West region.
Yeah, first time we've had a Pac-10 team since 1980. First team other than UCLA since 1963. Kind of a new look. I think they're going to win it. You know, there probably hasn't been this much excitement out west since John Wayne crossed the Rio Grande. Arizona duked it out with North Carolina today, proving they have enough true grit to be a part of this year's Final Four. Tar Heels kept pace with the Wildcats most of the first half. Ranzino Smith here launches this three-pointer. North Carolina had a 2-point lead at the intermission, but Tom Tolbert gets free. Does it the old-fashioned way. Look at this. Turnaround three-pointer goes down. He earned it. Game was tied at 42-all. Arizona, though, took it from there. All-American Sean Elliott down the baseline. He'll get the roll. He had 24. Arizona becomes the first Pac-10 team since UCLA back in 1980 to get to the Final Four. They win it 70-52 in the West. You know, you almost expected to hear Somewhere Over the Rainbow before the tip-off of today's Midwest region. Now that I think about it, on TV you did. Kansas against Kansas State for the right to follow the yellow brick road to Kansas City. And it's Kansas that is off to meet the wizard of the Final Four. Kansas State looked like they were a runaway tornado early in this game. Will Scott sends up one of his 3 early three-pointers, K-State by 5. But Kansas has Danny Manning. And he had everything they needed. The Jayhawks rode him this far, didn't stop today, got the alley-oop there, had him within 1 at the half. And Kansas also got some very unexpected help from Scooter Berry. Came off the bench, had a career-high 15, put KU ahead for good right there, and then they pulled away late, going to Manning. He led the way. He's going to get it on the feed right there. He had 20. Jayhawks back to the Final Four for a rematch with the team that they lost to in 1986 in the Final Four. They will meet Duke in the early national semifinal next Saturday. And right after that, Arizona and Oklahoma playing a game that maybe should be for the national title, but they won't play the official national championship game till a week from tomorrow night. Well, the Gophers now know who they get in next weekend's hockey Final Four, Little St. Lawrence from New York. They will meet the Gophers in Lake Placid, riding last night's 7-goal cushion. The Saints finished off Wisconsin tonight in their total goal quarterfinal. This is Pete LePan with a shorthanded breakaway for St. Lawrence. They ended up losing the game tonight 4-3, but they win the total goal series 10-4. Now, yesterday, the Gophers looked ready for just about anyone. This was the big goal from last night's game against Michigan State. Grant Bischoff there put them ahead for good in their total goal series with State. The Gophers get their Final Four shot and a chance at the national championship.
Oh, we'd like to win it, no question about it. And we've got a big ice sheet, and that'll be interesting, trying to make the adjustment to that. But you know, it's a great opportunity, and that's what everybody shoots for, is that chance to win the national championship. And at least State won't beat us there. You know, they've done that in the past, and that's maybe that's an obstacle that is fortunate for us not to have in front of us.
So the obstacle they do have is St. Lawrence. That'll be in one national semi. That will take place Friday night. On Thursday, top-ranked Maine will play Lake Superior. Next Saturday night, the winners will play for the national championship. Must be all that air and sunshine down there, because we know the Twins prefer the Dome here. Another exhibition loss in Florida for the Twins today. This time they lose to Toronto. Now, they did come back from 4 runs down in the game. Gary Gaetti, his 4th home run of the spring, made it a 4-2 game in the 5th inning. In the 6th inning, Greg Gagne tied it up for the Twins with this opposite field homer. Unfortunately, Jeff Reardon allowed a run in the 9th because of his own error. They lose it. Jays win it 5-4. You know, you could almost say that Mark McCumber had an unfair advantage over all of the others in the Players' Championship of Golf today. After yesterday's rain, most of the players had to play 2 rounds today. Now, McCumber lives right by the course, and he was able to go home for a snack between rounds. I wonder what he ate. This is him tapping in on number 18. He played 36 holes today and only bogeyed 1 of them, that last one. McCumber finished at 15 under par, wins the TPC by 4 strokes, $225,000 for it. Plus, he didn't have to pay for a hotel at all this week. Now, I want you to keep an eye on the guy on the bottom of the screen. They say he's too old for this sort of thing. What do you think? Mr. Jimmy Connors still has some spunk left. Even things up at a set apiece there, but then top-seeded Mats Wilander took over. This is match point. Wilander wins the Lipton Tennis Finals today. 4 sets to 2. He takes home more than $112,000. And she's only 16 years old. But Janet Evans of Placentia, California, now has her 2nd world record. This is her running away with it. She won the 1,500-meter freestyle at the U.S. Indoor Nationals in Orlando today, a time of 15:52.10. She's the first woman ever to swim 1,500 meters in less than 16 seconds.
We'll be hearing more from her.
Yeah, of course, that's a world record.
Well, when we come back, the story of a little girl who owes her life to a computer system based here in the Twin Cities.
Of all the cars that come out each year, only one can be the Motor Trend Car of the Year. For 1988, that one is this one, the hot new Pontiac Grand Prix. Get on your Pontiac and ride, Pontiac ride! The new Grand Prix, Motor Trend's Car of the Year. You've got to drive it. Get on your Pontiac, we build excitement.
You know, people get all kinds of crazy ideas when they think of waterbeds, like waves. But the fact is, sleeping on a Sun Valley waterbed is like taking an overnight vacation every night. And to prove it to you this weekend, we'll give you a waveless mattress free with any bed purchase. Plus, enter to win one of 9 dream vacations for 2 in Hawaii. So forget about waves and get a waveless waterbed mattress free this weekend only at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
Take an overnight vacation.
I'm Angela Storr.
And I'm Mark Sapelsa. And the next Good Company will take a look at what fashionable mothers-to-be will be wearing this spring and summer.
We'll meet beloved children's puppeteer Sherry Lewis with Lamb Chop.
Also, we'll find out about a brand new laser technique for eyesight correction that could make eyeglasses obsolete.
And in our studio, comedian Jerry Seinfeld.
I think if you got a T-shirt with bloodstains all over it, maybe laundry isn't your biggest problem right now.
Join us at 3 for Good Company.
Would you call the 1920s a colorless decade?
I think maybe I'll have to do something about it.
Now, we've made the jazz age more colorful than ever.
That's very nice of you.
Get ready for guys, gals, and gangsters.
Don't take my chances.
Join James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart in a special color presentation.
Between the 2 of us, we ought to do all right together.
The Roaring Twenties, now in color.
I'm doing all right now.
Channel 5 presents The Roaring Twenties, Monday at 8. Don't miss it.
An amazing story this weekend of nationwide cooperation. A little girl from North Carolina needed a bone marrow transplant, so her doctors checked a new Twin Cities-based computer system that logs bone marrow donations by type. They found a match. The girl went to Seattle for the operation, and now she's going home. Lynn Cannon reports from Seattle on the story.
Wait. Brooke Ward began her long journey home to Raleigh, North Carolina, leaving the same way she arrived, with lots of media attention. Attention because she became the first person to receive a bone marrow transplant through the new National Bone Marrow Registry. By now, though, she is tired of being in the spotlight.
People we don't even know want to give me pictures.
Her mother spoke for both of them about this moment.
We're very excited about this. It's something that we've waited for 4.5 months, and we're just so thankful this day has come.
Her triumphant story led to more people signing up for the bone marrow registry.
We understand that in North Carolina alone it has doubled, and also out here it has doubled. And that is our main goal, because we can help other people by getting bone marrow in the registry, and it can save other people's lives, and that's what we want to do.
Brooke is leaving relatives that grew close to her in Seattle to greet aunts and uncles that dearly miss her in North Carolina. And now we will miss her too.
Tell them bye. Can you wave bye to everybody? Can you wave bye? Just wave bye.
There he goes. Len Cannon reporting.
Neat story. Tomorrow we should find out if we're any closer to hosting the 1996 Summer Olympics. Members of the U.S. Olympic Committee wrapped up a tour of our state today. The full committee will name the finalists tomorrow. That's just one of the stories we'll continue to follow for you tomorrow and this week. We'll also keep you posted on the grand jury selection in St. Cloud, and members will have to decide whether to indict several young men involved in a so-called vampire killing last week. Police say the killers were inspired by a horror film about teenage vampires called The Lost Boys. We'll keep you informed. Last word on weather?
Well, ahead this week we have a quick warm-up and then another cool down. A few showers overnight and showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow with highs in the mid to upper 50s.
Okay, and one more thing. When you see news happening, call us on the Eyewitness News tip line. That number is 588-6397. That's 5 TV News. Thanks for joining us tonight. You can find out what happens while you sleep with Eyewitness News Morning at 6 a.m.